And finally, we're talking about building what will ultimately be a sports and entertainment district on the Qualcomm site in Mission Valley.
They're doing more than kicking around a few good ideas. The game plan to bring a Major League Soccer team to San Diego. Picking up the tab of the San Diego group who's helping homeless men and women reunite with their families.
Yeah, it made me want to stand up for all of my rights and what I believe in and always fight for what I want.
We march for inclusion, we march for equality.
The national call to action answered in San Diego. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. A group of San Diego investors is hoping to make a bid for Major League Soccer. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson says the plan calls for a renovation of Qualcomm Stadium.
FS Investors plans to submit a formal application for an expansion franchise by the end of the month. The Professional Soccer League is considering adding 4 teams, and San Diego would be one of 10 cities competing. The bid hinges on the city agreeing to allow the construction of a soccer stadium. FS Investors representative Michael Stone says the $200 million stadium wouldn't require public financing, and it is just part of their proposal.
We have a solution for Aztec football. We're bringing a major sport to the city. We're delivering a river park that nobody has been able to solve after many years. We're accelerating a tax base by a handful of years at least over any alternative.
Offices and housing are also part of the plan, but the building that's still adorned with the logo of the Chargers is not. This big gray concrete structure, Qualcomm Stadium, would be removed from the city's financial books. That could save the city millions of dollars a year. The sweeping redevelopment plan sets aside 16 acres of land, so an NFL franchise could build a stadium there. The proposal still requires a lot of things to happen. The soccer league would have to approve a team, and city officials would have to approve the redevelopment of city land. San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer says he wants more information, but he likes what he hears.
Look, I think we have a real opportunity to bring MLS here, not just for soccer, but to create a permanent home for Aztec football. A great concept, and obviously I'm going to have to see the final plan, but a river park, those are the building blocks that I think provides us with a great opportunity.
Investors say they'll be ready to present the development plan to the City Council by May. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
San Diego State University officials have been meeting with the developers behind the project. SDSU Athletic Director John David Wicker says the school is interested, but Wicker says school officials aren't ready to make a final decision.
We've been working with FS on this, so we have seen some versions, and obviously we will take what was put out today and continue to study it and work with our partners to figure out what's going to be best for San Diego State, the community, and the Mission Valley site.
The size of the stadium being built is an issue. The school is interested in a 30 to 40,000 seat facility. The soccer league typically seeks a stadium in the 20 to 25,000 seat size. Another round of stormy weather hit San Diego today with strong winds, heavy rains at times, and hail. Several school districts around the county were closed while emergency shelters were open. The city of San Diego says for the 5th day in a row, Father Joe's and Connections housing facilities downtown are open with extra beds. And the search continues today for a child who may have been swept into a creek in the Rainbow area. A body was also found there over the weekend. We'll have your complete weather forecast coming up in just a few minutes. The California Senate has confirmed Javier Becerra as the state's next attorney general. Becerra has vowed to defend the state's liberal policies on immigration, the environment, and civil liberties against a Donald Trump administration.
He will be a strong partner, a very strong partner for our state to help us work with the federal government and when we can, and to resist when we must.
Becerra is expected to be sworn into his new position during Governor Brown's State of the State address tomorrow. He replaces Kamala Harris, who is now a U.S. Senator. Today, San Diego City officials unveiled a plan to help commercial buildings become more energy efficient. The goal of the initiative is to get participants to reduce energy and water consumption by 50% by 2030. San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer says this is a major part of the city's climate action plan.
San Diego's a leader and a national leader for all of the right reasons. We're very proud of protecting our environment, our air, our water. And this is about the private sector and the public sector coming together to achieve those goals.
The nonprofit Cleantech San Diego will manage the program locally and seeks commitments from building owners to improve energy efficiency. Los Angeles and San Francisco are also participating. The San Diego Downtown Partnership gives homeless people downtown a free Greyhound bus ticket to anywhere in the U.S. if they can prove someone on the receiving end is willing to support them. It's called the Family Reunification Program, but it's not without its critics. iNews Source reporter Megan Wood has this week's news and numbers.
That's right, Ebony. Since 2012, the Downtown Partnership has bused more than 1,000 homeless people out of downtown San Diego in hopes of reuniting them with friends and family. To qualify, those in need voluntarily fill out questionnaires and give the partnership's homeless outreach coordinators contact information for a relative or friend. In exchange, those who are physically able typically spend a few hours working with a Downtown Partnership program called Clean and Safe to clean up downtown streets. The group has spent $168,000 on bus tickets in total. That's an average about $160 per person, all funded through a sponsorship with Sharp Healthcare and contributions from the county and San Diego companies. Yet, with little data showing how individuals fare once reaching their destinations, homeless advocates like Michael McConnell question the program's value.
If you're really just providing transportation costs to people who need to get somewhere, regardless of whether it's for family and friends, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that. To tout it as an ending homelessness program, I think there's a lot wrong with that if you're not tracking data to find out if that person is actually permanently housed and has ended their homelessness, or that family.
Downtown Partnership spokeswoman Angela Wells says they do try to follow up when people reach their destination, and again 3 months later, but they aren't always successful. Still, she says the program has reunified hundreds of people with their families. For KPBS, I'm iNews Source reporter Megan Wood.
San Ysirdo sits right next door to the world's busiest land border crossing. Cars and trucks roll through the community as 3 major freeways funnel traffic into the U.S.-Mexico border. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson says people there are worried that all that traffic could be damaging their health.
Bruno Lopez holds on tight as he swings out over a slide. The energetic 4-year-old lets go and plops down. A bit scary at first, but it doesn't keep him from another try.
Down? Yeah, come down.
No! No, I don't want to go down. I'm not going to go down.
I'll wait for you right here.
Rudy Lopez smiles as Bruno runs around the play structures, but Dad is also keeping a close eye on his son. That's because Bruno suffers from asthma.
He was about a year old when he first started having respiratory issues. Around 2.5, he came down with pneumonia, asthma-related pneumonia.
The California Department of Health says asthma afflicts more than 400,000 San Diego County residents. That's more than 1 in 10 people, and the rates are higher in congested urban neighborhoods like San Ysirdo.
And doctors told us if we could get it under control now, it wouldn't be a permanent condition, so that's when we really wanted to see, okay, what can we do to help control it?
Exposure to smoking and air pollution are 2 primary causes.
There are the waves.
Lopez says his son's health got him thinking about San Ysirdo. Even here at the expansive Howard Lane Park, traffic is hard to escape. The 905 freeway and a heavily traveled surface street border 2 sides of this giant green space.
I hadn't really thought about it before he started having asthma. But now that we look around, we see that we're so close to one of the biggest vehicle ports of entry in the world. We have 3 freeways here in San Ysirdo, one of them which carries considerable amount of truck traffic.
San Ysirdo is a community with about 22,000 residents. Most of the homes are rentals. The tightly clustered houses are squeezed in between the international border and the freeways that funnel traffic north and south. The California Environmental Protection Agency and the State Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment track pollution in the state, especially in economically challenged areas like San Ysirdo. CalEPA's Alex Barnum says the state is getting a better picture of the risk here, but he knows there are shortcomings in their data, especially around the U.S.-Mexico border.
We are trying to get a better measurement of that pollution, and as you say, pollution doesn't respect borders. It's something that we have to do a better job of in terms of gathering data around the border.
That's important because the state's analysis identifies priorities for funding. If there's a pollution problem, the region could get help building parks or more bikeways. And while cross-border pollution isn't well measured, gathering data north of the U.S. side of the border isn't especially effective either.
Let's see, current air quality.
Bob Card is San Diego's air pollution control officer. His office did have a pollution monitor at the border, but the findings were inconclusive.
Some slightly elevated levels of particulate matter from diesel exhaust, but really nothing out of the ordinary.
But that device isn't currently taking measurements. It had to be taken down because of renovations to the port of entry. Card says the lack of a monitor doesn't change what his office already knows about air pollution. He says 70% of the county's air pollution comes from vehicles.
Yeah, there are increased pollutant levels. And frankly, if you're by the road and a diesel truck comes by and is smoking and you're downwind of it, you're inhaling a lot more than even we would be recording.
You're going to make a ship?
Longtime resident Rudy Lopez says his community needs to see that pollution is a serious issue in San Ysirdo. He says the best way to do that is to prove there's a problem.
There hasn't been a constant monitoring of the situation. I think that's one of the problems. So there isn't anything tangible. People just say, well, you think there's a problem. But until we monitor it and we can show, hey, these are the numbers, these are the cold, hard facts, I don't think many people are going to pay attention to it.
Community activists and local researchers are teaming up to gather those facts. Tomorrow, we'll look at the groundbreaking effort to document the community's issues with air pollution. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
A huge decline in California's teen drivers. The number has dropped nearly 50% since the early 80s. Transportation leaders say it's due to a change in culture. Young drivers would rather ride with their friends or wait until they're 18 to skip driver's ed.
It's just part of the new generation of people their age that tend to go more in groups than singly. So there will be one person or two people that have driver's license, and then their 3 or 4 friends go with them.
State leaders might be helping the decline, too. They've tightened their driving rules over the past few decades and recently introduced a bill that would extend provisional driving rules to people under 21. Turnout at women's marches across the world eclipsed initial estimates. And it was no different in San Diego Saturday. As many as 40,000 people marched peacefully. That's nearly double what organizers anticipated. KPBS reporter Megan Burks was there.
Crowds stretched along the entire mile-long route as demonstrators carrying the lead banner reached Waterfront Park on Harbor Drive. Those at the rear were taking their first steps from the staging area. The procession was slow and careful. A lot of strollers, kids on shoulders, and men and women of all ages and abilities. Organizers urged marchers to use the time to talk to their neighbors along the route about what's next.
Let's take care of the future. Let's take care of our children and our families and our friends.
Elected officials at the march said their directive moving forward is clear. A majority Democratic county, 56% of San Diego voters cast ballots for Hillary Clinton.
We need to be vigilant on a daily basis to make sure that the Trump administration doesn't enact policies that hurt women and children.
We intend to do everything we can to protect the policies and the programs that we have put into place in California for women, for girls, for immigrants, for working families, for dreamers, for the transgender, the LGBTQ community, we are going to fight every day to make sure we hold the line.
We can make sure that we are standing up and we are not using local resources to be able to advance any kind of agenda for which we don't agree, which does not benefit San Diegans. We can make sure that we're focused on economic development that includes many people in the community that thought that they're coming out of the shadows.
Private citizens at the march talked about what they can do in their everyday lives.
I think sometimes it's in the smallest things that most action takes place. It's in the everyday of how you treat people and stand for kindness. I hope to be kind, no matter what your political view is or where you're from.
In November, I tried out for the Vagina Monologues, which is a show that we're doing in UCSD. We're going to be performing it in February, and that's like one thing that's been really proactive for me. It's just a group of girls talking about women problems, and we're going to be performing that soon, and that's really helped me to kind of empower myself, but also hopefully through the show empower others.
There's been a lot of people around here that have been doing handing out flyers for rallies, for environmental rallies, more like petitions, things like that for everyday things that everybody can do.
I'm usually a lot more conservative, and I have 4 kids, and 3 of them are women, and one of them is a gay male, and I don't feel like our government is really representing my family anymore. The best thing I think we can do as parents is to raise thinkers.
I talk with my kids all the time about the election, about what's going on in our country, and so I think today and here forward, I'm going to keep doing that, keep listening, keep speaking my voice, voting for people that I believe can help run this country and make it better. And I'm going to keep doing that and show my kids that that's how democracy works and this is how America works. Did today make you want to do anything?
Yeah, it made me want to stand up for all of my rights and what I believe in and always fight for what I want.
We march for inclusion, we march for equality, we march for women's rights being human rights.
Organizers of the march say they too will regroup and think up ways to move Saturday's energy forward. Megan Burks, KPBS News.
There were no reports of arrest on the march on Saturday and no reports of counter-protests by Trump supporters. A small group did gather in Balboa Park for a pro-life rally. Dinner is served with politics as the main course. From our sister station in Pasadena, KPCC producers introduce us to California voters who share their thoughts after the presidential election.
I self-identify as a libertarian. I am also the son of an illegal Mexican immigrant. I also don't necessarily disagree with some of Trump's stances on immigration, much to my father's chagrin. I feel like I was pushed a little further to the right on the political spectrum after the election.
Everything we see in this world, this studio, schools, police cars, it all comes actually from the private sector, because that's what generates tax revenue to pay teachers and everything else. So I've been just disillusioned seeing one government official after another voting for policies that make it harder for the private sector to do business. And here's this brash guy coming in that has for years said, I'm not going to run for office.
Muslims were being used in the political rhetoric just, as a bargaining chip, right? But there was a report of 111 incidences of hate crimes against Muslims in the 7 days right after Election Day all across this nation. Unlike a typical election where you can have civil conversations, the fact that people are dying because of how conversations are getting manipulated, and it was terrible.
It was really interesting, in the days after the election to see everybody mad. People are like, oh no, now we're being hunted. What are you talking about? We've been hunted this entire time. You didn't know what it was like to be scared in America before Tuesday? I've been scared 32 years. Everybody I know has been scared. How is everybody just now realizing how screwed up it is out here?
I was feeling that same thing. All the text messages I got that whole week were like, what do we do now? It's like, why weren't you doing anything before?
Yeah.
Why have we been doing things, and why are you now just stepping up and thinking that you need to do something?
I got really depressed. I got maybe 2 hours of sleep, wanted to call in sick to work. I think it was just the amount of vitriol that was kind of spewing from both sides. I don't think either side is less guilty. I've pinpointed, I think, my sadness to one thing, and I think it was just the amount of hate that was flying around. You know, whether it was towards Muslims, whether it was towards Mexicans, whether it was towards people who were calling, you know, minorities racist for saying that white people were racist. I mean, there's just so much hate, and I was like, God, we're still here. I think we forgot for a while that was there. I felt like a lot of people on the left were trying to silence a lot of people that disagreed with them.
What I would want the people on the other side, wherever that other side happens to be, to know about me is that I'm not poison. I'm from the hood, and I'm proud of that. The hood is a bunch of people doing their best to live and survive and thrive. There may be some bad people living next door or across the street, or some not even bad people, just misguided people. But there's still people that, you know what, if we caught that boy in elementary school before he got heavily involved in gangs or drugs or whatever, he'd have a totally different life and he wouldn't be messing up yours. And he's not poison either. He was poisoned. I have a couple friends who, friends that are hardcore Trump supporters. I can't look at them and say, "Oh man, you're racist, sexist, homophobic, or any of that." It's like, no,
I'm none of those.
Like, you're cool. You know, I understand what their support came from. The support isn't necessarily for Trump. It was for the grenade. It was just for the grenade to blow the system up.
I like what you said about the grenade, because actually that's very much along the lines of what I think is my guiding light, which is that if this is a grenade, if this is shaking of the system, then this is not business as usual, and let's not pretend that this is normal. Let's acknowledge what is happening here, and if it's going to be revolution, let's all wake up. Let's all pay attention, and let's hold the people who are in elected offices. Now they happen to all be Republicans, at least, you know. Let's hold them accountable. Can we do this again sometime?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I would for a longer time.
I would just give encouragement, and I know it sounds crazy in hindsight. Many on the right were feeling the exact same thing that the four of you are feeling right now, back in 2008. It was, the sky is falling, the world's gonna come, it didn't come to an end. Some, in my opinion, really bad legislation happened, but the world didn't come to an end. The way Washington, D.C. will be run, I don't believe it's gonna be run status quo.
Heavy rain hit Oceanside today, making puddles and soaking residents. And it's not over just yet for San Diego. Julian Wyden says watch out for spotty showers in tonight's forecast.
I'm meteorologist Julia Wyden, and we are looking ahead in San Diego. Here's what's going on for tonight. Still in our wet weather pattern, we have the chance for rain and thunderstorms. Into Tuesday, we'll still have spot showers around, but I do have good news. We are going to see vastly improving conditions as we get towards Tuesday afternoon and into Wednesday. That is when we'll start to tap into some clearing. A look at the satellite and radar from the last several hours does show those rounds of rain and storms that have been spilling on shore. And here's the deal. We've had so much rain recently that anything additional we get could contribute to flash flooding. So that is why we continue to have a flash flood watch in effect all across the county. The grounds are saturated. They just can't hold anymore. So if you know that you live in an area that's prone to flooding, you may need to consider alternate routes. We never want you to drive through any flooded roadways. Also have a winter storm warning in effect for our higher elevations. Going to see those snow levels getting lower tonight. They'll come down to about 3,500 feet. Now, spots up above 5,000 feet could potentially see upwards of 10 inches of snow as we go through tonight and into tomorrow. So again, still looking at rain and snow tonight and early tomorrow. Then those conditions start to improve and things will begin to dry out. A look at our futurecast shows the threat for rain and storms tonight, especially along the coast. We'll still have the potential for some spot showers and storms early on Tuesday, but most of Tuesday and into Wednesday will be devoted to clearing conditions. A look at the temperatures tonight, going to be dropping down to the mid-40s in Poway, 44 degrees there, Alpine, 38 degrees, 26 degrees, and Mount Laguna, and again, threat for rain and storms. The picture for tomorrow shows colder air coming in from the north, a couple of showers staying roughly along the coastline, and all that activity with snowfall is going to be pushing its way eastward. A look at the metro forecast for tonight, 49 degrees with a thunderstorm in spots. As we look out at the next several days along the coast, we have high temperatures in the 50s on Tuesday, variable cloudiness and the chance for rain early on Tuesday, but mostly sunny heading into Wednesday, and the temperatures jump back up into the 60s, getting close to 70 by Saturday. Inland, we have our forecast for showers and a good amount of cloud cover. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 50s on Tuesday, but looking nice for Wednesday. We will be on the cool side, not as cool as Tuesday. Temperatures in the mid-60s, a good amount of sun into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday's temperature will be right around 70 degrees as well. Overnight lows in the mid and upper 30s. And finally, talking about the forecast for the mountain area. We've got a little snow possible early on Tuesday. Temperature going to be right around the freezing mark. Then we'll warm up to the mid-30s on Wednesday with sunshine, partly sunny and chilly on Thursday, 40 degrees then. Temperatures will be in the mid-40s with wind on Saturday.
Now, here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom on Morning Edition. Ready to light up the woman in charge of marijuana control in the Golden State and the challenge for this cash-based business. And on Midday Edition, Governor Brown says he'll fight back against President Trump on issues like climate change. We'll discuss his other top priorities for his State of the State address. That's tomorrow at noon on KPBS Radio. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.